All right. So in the last video, we built a basic Zap. Now, depending on your plan level, again, let's go back here. Let's go back here to pricing. Let's just take a quick look here. Depending on your level of plan, you're able to make, different amount of zaps, right? If you see here, single step zaps. So if you're on a free plan, that means that you can only have one trigger. Well, you will only ever have one trigger, but that means you can only have one action if you're on the free plan. That is a single step zap, right? Now, as you get higher in the plans, let's just go through this. Just take a few moments here to go through this. In the starter plan here, that is 19 bucks a month, you have multi-step zaps. You have 3 premium apps. Let's take a look at what a premium app may be. Let's open this here. Let's go to premium app, which would be Shopify. Shopify is a premium app, right? This is a premium app. So you have to be on a certain plan level. On the free plan, you can't get a premium app. On this plan, you get 3 premium apps that you can use. You get filters, formatters, connections via webhooks. Now, webhooks just means that you're able to grab this data in here, throw it to a different application, and then get that data back from that application through the webhook, and then throw it into whatever other application you want to throw it into. So webhook, again, you initiate a webhook in Zap, you send it to your first application, you grab that information from the first application, then you throw it into the second application. Versus just a regular Zap, that first software just throws it to Zap. But sometimes there's no integration between that software and Zapier. So if there is an integration, then all you got to do is just connect the two. One sends the data to Zap, Zap sends it somewhere else. If you need a webhook, then within Zap, you get a code, you get a URL, which is called a webhook. You throw it to the application, then they throw it back to you, and then you throw it to the other application, just to clear that up, okay? Next, you can format. Formatters, I'm going to show you in this Zap here that I'm going to build what a formatter is. Free plan, you can't do this. Depending on what your process is, I use formatters all the time, right? Because I need to format numbers, certain ways sometimes to allow it to be read in a different app. And then you got filters. Filters, I'll show you filters in a bit. And then if you go on, you get all these same features plus, different paths, auto replay. Replay means that if your Zap fails, I'll show you a failed Zap actually. I think I do have one in my account here somewhere. If you ever want to see all the Zaps, if your Zap's gone through, you can go here to task history to show you the history of all the Zaps or all the automations that's been running for you, okay? Let's go here to the history. In the history here, you're going to see the task log, right? So if you see here, filters, right? So if you go here, take a look at this, you got filters. Free step you can't, but here you can filter. So if you see here, new lead CRM automation. So we got filters here, meaning that it's listening to see if it passes your filter. Let's go into this one here, okay? So this is listening to an email inbox, right? Every email that goes into this inbox is listening for, but it's only listening to see if it says this here, right? So if it isn't there, then the Zap doesn't go, it doesn't continue. However, if it does say this, it'll run through, right? So that is a filter. Now let's say a Zap that, let's find here one, let's find here one that stopped. Let's go back here. These are all filtered, success, that's filtered. Well, nonetheless, let's say a Zap were to fail. Let's say a Zap were to fail. Where's one that may have failed possibly? Let's find one that may have failed. Nonetheless, if one fails, there's a button called replay. It literally has a button here that says replay, and you can force it to go through again right away, right? So that is what auto replay is on this plan level. Over here, you got unlimited users, folder permissions, and so forth, right? So let's minimize this. Let's go back here and let's add a new step to the Zap, right? So next, let's say we do get this spreadsheet row in Google Sheets, right? Let's go back here. Let's refresh this. And you're going to see here again, the last email sent from this email inbox was, I think it said the 11th of December. I got to double check that. 11th of December, this top one here, 11th of December. So let's go here. And the next step we want to do here is, let's say we want to send an email. I use 365, Outlook Office 365 or Microsoft Office 365, excuse me. Now, the event, right? So I want to send an email. I can create a contact. I can send an email, create an event, or find a contact. I want to send an email once these two things happen. Let's save and continue. Let's choose the account I'm going to use. We can use this account here. Let's save and continue. So what that means is I've now got to look. I've got to sign into this email inbox here because this is the one I'm going to be sending it through. Give me a second. Let's get out of this inbox here because this isn't the inbox that I want. Let's log out here, sign out. Just give me a couple of seconds here just to open this email here. Outlook.office.com. I have two screens set up here, so I'm just on my other screen right now, signing into this email here. Outlook.office.com. Let me just sign in here. Give me one moment, guys. Sign in here. Just give me a few moments. Okay, signed in. Let me sign in. Let's give it a second. Just logging in right here. Okay, so sent items, right? So we got sent items here. And as you see here, the last email sent here was, give it a moment, was sent here. Okay, so this was Friday at 9:53. It's now Sunday. So this was sent on the 11th, right? So what we can do is, let's say this person was a lead, right? And they opened their, they signed up or whatever. Now we want to send them an email right away in real time because you want to follow up with your leads right away, right? So what we can do is we can send them an email, right? So we can send the email to this email. We can subject, hey, you just filled out a form in the Zap training. Okay, now body, hi, this is just a test email. All right, let's save and continue. And let's test and continue. You always want to test your Zaps. And if we go here, we're going to see that there we go. My email was just operated by Zapier. This email was just sent this exact instant over here. Test was successful. So now when this person fills this out, their information gets written here to Google Sheets. And then that information, an email is sent right away in real time to the person that filled out the form. How powerful is that? So let's say someone purchased something. Let's say that this step was new purchase. I exported the data somewhere, into a CRM or something, and I can send them or a link to the product they just purchased, depending on what it is. I can send them the next steps. I can tell them where to go to download the product or whatever the case may be, right? That's why this is powerful, because you now don't have to email everyone, hey, thanks for buying Here you go. You don't have to do that. The system does it 24/7 for you, right? You don't need to auto or manually fulfill all of your I guess products or services, whatever it is you're utilizing this Zap for. You don't have to manually do anything every time someone trigger completes this trigger, right? So that's one thing you can do. Next, let's automate it into a CRM. Let's refresh this here and let's make a new list, okay? Let's make a new list here. Let's add a list. So let's go here. So this is a CRM. I'll show you some cool things you can do in here once, a trigger is done here from ClickFunnels. So let's go here. Let's add a new list. Let's do Zap training. Let's create this list. Okay. So now what we can do is let's make another step to the Zap, because remember, we've got we were on this plan, so we can create multi-step Zaps, right? So let's do something else. Now remember, in this again, we have formatters. Here's why we need formatters sometimes, depending on how your systems work or CRMs work. Let's say someone were to type in their phone number weird, or there's a possibility for people to type in their information weird. You can format that information to a format that will be read by the receiving application, right? So here, for example, typically for this CRM, the numbers need to be formatted a certain way, or else it's not going to read the phone number. It's not going to read the phone number just like this. This CRM does not read the phone number in this format. So what do? I go choose formatter right here. So let's actually delete this because I want to read this out to you, right? So if you go to formatter, change how incoming data is formatted for later steps. That is important to understand that. Let's choose formatter. Now, what do we want to do? What do we want to format? Do we want to format text, numbers, utilities, date, or time? I want to format number because I want to format the phone number, right? Let's save and continue. Let's transform this phone number, format the phone number. Now it's going to ask for an input. What phone number would you like to format to a new style? Well, where's the number that we have? We got it from the form in the first step up here. So that's your input. This is a number we want to format, but what do we want to change it to? The format that I need to change to is this format right here. So choose this format. Let's save and continue. And again, you want to do a test, right? Let's test and continue, and boom, it just formatted your phone number into this format from this format here. So this is the phone number here, how it was entered by the lead or the person who filled out the form, this form here. It was entered like this, and everyone who fills out the form, no matter what, Zapier is going to always format it to this. And the reason I personally need it to this is so that I can write it to this list, right? Let's go in here. There's going to be nothing in here. I need it written in this format because it's going to go right here under phone number, okay? So now let's add a new step. Let's find my CRM here. Let's choose an event. Let's sync the leads because I want to sync it to my CRM. Choose my account. I've got my account here. Let's save and continue. And list. Now, the reason why I just created this list is because, again, it needs to read the data within the CRM. So I get the list here, Zap training. The campaign name, I'm not putting it to a campaign right now. Phone number. Now, where am I getting the phone number? I can go here, I got the phone number, but it's not gonna write it. It's not gonna read it and write it to this CRM here because it's not the right format. So what I can do let me back up. When you're in a later step down down your Zap. So step one, step two, step three. Let's edit this. Let's rename this to format phone number. You know what's what. You can rename any of these steps here always, right? So step one, step two, step three, step four, step five. We're now in step five, configuring step five. Because we already have these steps prior, step five, we can grab variables from these previous steps. So the setup action, let's go here. We want to grab the phone number from this step here, not from step number one, but from this step here. We grab the phone number in this format. Email, we can grab the email from step number one. First name, we can grab the first name from step number one. Last name, same thing, grab the last name from step number one, okay? Now, if there are more information you want to add, you can do that. Let's save and continue, okay? So what this is telling you now is it's going to sync the leads to this CRM here. What list? This list, the phone number, this phone number, email, first name, last name. Let's test and continue. I'm going to refresh this in a moment. Let's test it. And bam, let's refresh this. And that data is going to be in this CRM. Isn't that amazing? There you go. Now you got the data from here into your CRM, where you can now do so many more things. You can now add them to campaigns. You can assign them to a sub-user if you have a sales team. You can do that in this app as well. Set up action. You can assign it from here to a sales team. I'll show you how to do that in a second. You can call them. You can drop a ringless voicemail, message them, email them. You can move them to a different list. But the main point is you now, as someone's, fills out this form over here, format the phone number, their information gets written to this spreadsheet, then an email gets sent to them, and then they get synced into this CRM in which you can do more things as well. Let's refresh this here. Let's go back in here. As you see here in the inbox, there's just one email here. This is from a previous email. There's no text message down here. Here's what else we can do with Zapier. We can send text messages. Let's go here. We're going to use this same CRM, once this lead is in here, to send a text message from Zapier. Let's send an SMS. Let's choose the account. Let's continue. Let's save. So from here, let's choose a phone number. Let's just send it from this phone number to who? We're going to send it to this phone number here. Now your body, hey, again, you can address them because remember, I can grab the variables from the previous step. So, hey, Trey, thanks for filling out the form. This is a Zapier training. All right, let's save and continue. So what this is telling you now is it's going to go from this phone number to this number, and this is what it's going to text this number here. Let's test and continue. An SMS was sent. Now let's refresh this. And let's open this inbox back up. And you're going to see here now, hey Trey, thanks for filling out the form. This is a Zapier training. And I just got a text on my phone with the same thing, right? So that is how powerful this is. I just got the text right here on my phone. That's how powerful this is, guys. In real time, as soon as your leads fill out this form over here on your website or wherever it is, and once they do something, then in seconds, they can literally get a text message to their phone. which means your conversion rate is going to skyrocket because as soon as they hit submit, instantly they're getting a response. That is powerful. Now, remember what I said in previous videos. What do we do now? Turn the Zap on. Turn it on, because this is not, all of this is not going to happen if it's not turned on, right? So at the end of each Zap, you want to turn it on. As you see here, this is 6 steps. And as you see, it's not even really complex. All I said is, okay, you know, when this happens, I want you to do this. Then I want you to do this. Then I want you to do this. Then I want you to do this. And then this, right? But in terms of real time, like in terms of real life time, this all these steps get executed within, I don't know, I think maybe about 5-10 seconds. That's how powerful this is. Yeah, this seems like a lot, but this all happens within 10 seconds, guys, depending on what plan you are on. Let's go back here. Depending on whatever plan you're on, this happens within 10 to 30 seconds, guys. This is why this is so powerful for your business. So just to recap, you know, when something happens here, you can format the phone number. Formatting means that you're able to format things into the format that the receiving application needs it to be in. Let's say you want to capitalize each letter. Let's say someone goes here and they, you know, type in their name with small letters. Well, guess what? We can go in here now and we can, let's go here, formatter. We can work with the text. We can save and continue. We can, now something else I want to make note, because I just changed the Zap. When you change a Zap, it gets turned off, guys. So just keep note of that. Every time you edit a Zap, it turns off, so you got to return it back on. So let's convert this. Let's capitalize this, right? Let's capitalize this. So let's say this wasn't capitalized. What we can do now is we can capitalize the first letter of each word, right? So if we see here, the output, yeah, it worked because it was already capitalized. However, if it was smaller, now this will get capitalized. That's how that works. Let's delete this because I don't need this. Let's turn this on because, again, I'm finished editing it. Now let's turn it back on, okay? As we see here, we got a 6-step Zap. That's 6 tasks that just got automated that you don't have to do manually because someone filled out this form. So that's the power of this. This is a little bit more complex than the first step, than the first Zap that only had, I think, 2 or 3. Yeah, that had 2 steps. But we're not done here, guys. So I hope you understand a little bit more the power of, you know, multi-step Zaps.